Email matt@wyab.com. That's matt@wyab.com today.
This is Central Mississippi's Stimulating Talk.
1039 WYAB, Pocahontas, Jackson.
From ABC News, I'm Sherry Preston. With the U.S. hitting targets in Iran and Iran retaliating against sites in Kuwait, where do things stand on the shaky ceasefire?
Growing concern the war in Iran could be ramping up. The U.S., for the second time this week, has launched attacks in southern Iran, targeting what officials say is a military site that was posing a threat to U.S. forces, and shooting down 4 Iranian attack drones near the Strait of Hormuz. Hours later, the military of nearby Kuwait said it was responding to missile and drone attacks. The apparent escalation in the region threatens to undermine peace talks.
ABC's Sophie Flay. ABC News has learned the Department of Justice has launched a probe against the woman who sued President Trump in a civil case accusing him of sex assault. She was awarded $5 million, but has not been paid anything. Here's ABC's Alex Mallon.
This is yet another person that President Trump has singled out as one of his top political enemies, his top political foes that have demanded that he pay for what they believe are transgressions against them, and that now appear to be in the crosshairs of his Justice Department.
An engineer at Google is accused of using insider information to profit off prediction markets about what was going to be trending at Google. Here's ABC's Aaron Katursky.
There are now at least a dozen bills floating through Congress that would crack down on the way prediction markets are allowed to operate. So there is pressure on markets like Kalshi and Polymarket to prove that they actually can control insider trading on their platforms, or else there might be bipartisan agreement to have Congress do it for them.
$40 million in gold bars found in the home of a former CIA official who is now accused of lying about his past. David Rush, a senior executive with top secret security clearance. In France, the lower house of parliament has just adopted a bill that will finally repeal a law against slavery. This is ABC News.
Lunch was great, but this traffic is awful.
Can we stop at a bathroom?
Are you all right?
I keep having stomach issues after eating, like diarrhea, gas and bloating, abdominal pain, and sometimes oily stools.
Sound familiar? Those stomach issues may actually be a pancreas issue called exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, or EPI. Creon pancrelipase may help manage EPI. Creon is a prescription medicine used to treat people who can't digest food normally because their pancreas doesn't make enough enzymes.
Creon may increase your chance of fibrosing colonopathy, a rare bowel disorder. Tell your doctor if you have a history of intestinal blockage or scarring or thickening of your bowel wall, if you are allergic to pork, or if you have gout, kidney problems, or worsening of painful swollen joints. Call your doctor if you have any unusual or severe gastrointestinal symptoms or allergic reactions. Take Creon as directed by your doctor and always with food. Do not chew capsules as this may cause mouth irritation. Other side effects may include blood sugar changes, gas, dizziness, sore throat, and cough. These are not all the side effects of Creon. Call 800-633-9110 or visit creoninfo.com to learn more. That's creoninfo.com.
I'm asking my doctor about EPI.
News and weather brought to you this hour by Flora Animal Hospital, where we treat your pets like our own. Visit our website, floraanimalhospital.com.
A Madison woman dies during a vacation venture in Florida. A 50-50 shot at showers and storms today with a high at 82. Tonight, the rain chances about 30% with a low at 69. The rain and storm chances go up to 60% Friday afternoon with a high at 83. Scattered showers and thunderstorms are expected both Saturday and Sunday. With news on 103.9 WYAB, I'm Chris Davis. The woman from Madison who died while snorkeling in Key West Tuesday has been identified as 63-year-old Alicia Elizabeth Spriggs. She was seen in the water still, and the people who found her tried CPR. The Coast Guard brought her up to the shore on Mule Key and took her to the hospital where she was pronounced dead. Now an autopsy is planned, but police do not suspect any foul play. You may remember the shooting last year of 25-year-old Malia Bess inside the leasing office at the Westwood Apartments in Jackson. Her husband of less than a year, 54-year-old Ron Allen, has pleaded guilty in her shooting and has been sentenced to life in prison. Police say Allen refused to come out of the office for several hours, then surrendered to the SWAT team. Not too much is being said about a rape case in Adams County, except that it happened last Thursday and that Tuesday, 44-year-old Michael Sean Simpson of Natchez was arrested and charged in the incident. You may remember the case of Carly Gregg, who was underage when she shot and killed her mother, Ashley Smiley, and shot her stepfather in Rankin County and received what is essentially a sentence of life without parole. Now, her attorneys argued Wednesday before the state Supreme Court that a recent state law makes it illegal to sentence a juvenile to life without parole. More news in 1 hour on 103.9 WYAB. I'm Chris Davis.
Hello, I'm John Ravenstein, third-generation owner of Juniker Jewelry Company. I've been here 50 years.
And I'm Corey Ravenstein, fourth-generation owner. I grew up here, literally.
Our great-uncle started Juniker Jewelry way back in 1944. And that simply means we've probably helped more Mississippi men pick out their engagement rings than anyone else.
Guys who are nervous.
Guys who've waited too long.
Guys who just want to get it right the first time.
That's what we do at Juniker Jewelry, Mississippi's direct diamond importer.
No pressure, just straight answers. And the largest selection of loose diamonds, engagement ring styles, and wedding bands in the state.
Remember, you can't buy a better quality diamond at a lower price anywhere in Mississippi. That's the Juniker's money-back diamond guarantee.
Come find out why we're still here after 82 years.
And why she'll never say, you're late, if you've shopped at Juniker's.
Juniker Jewelry Company, 1485 Highland Colony Parkway in Madison, and JunikerJewelry.com, Mississippi's direct diamond importer.
The views and opinions expressed in this program are the individual views and opinions of the people expressing them and do not necessarily reflect those of this radio station, its parent, affiliated, or related entities, agents, or employees.
Welcome to the Chip Matthews Show, where politics meets the South. So grab your sweet tea, find a comfortable spot to sit back, and let's embark on this journey together. Jump away, jump away.
And good Thursday morning. It is the Chip Matthews Show with Chip Matthews, starring Chip Matthews and Dawn McKenzie, who is not going to be in this morning. She's going to let me do this solo again today. Oh, home on the range. Okay, let's see your song for the morning. Looking online here, Jeff Thomas, good morning. Andy Devine, Shane Easley, Lloyd Travis, Ricky Gray, good to see you're up this early. And look, I noticed that the sun is even getting up earlier every morning. I guess that's in order to watch the show and listen to the program also. That's very good. That's very good. Very good. Also, y'all be careful out there at Edwards on the interstate. There's been another truck wreck. You know, it seems like we have lots and lots and lots of traffic accidents on I-20, usually between Edwards and Movana on a regular basis, to where the interstate gets blocked and slowed down. Good morning, my little brother, Roger Matthews. Let me tell you, that's something. Maybe we need to 5-lane the highway through there. I have been, when I used to work in Vicksburg many moons ago, I can remember mornings, okay, where I was on my way to work at 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning, because, you know, radio never sleeps. So I would be on my way to work, and you would be stuck on the interstate, dead park. Get out of your car, talk to everybody around you, because it's just completely shut down. And the same thing occurs when it gets deeper, and it happens over on the bridge. You know, and and I'm gonna say it doesn't. Some people say, "Well, y'all, that's just a wreck every once in a while." No, that happens quite frequently throughout the year. And you hear wrecks right now, 18-wheelers left and right on I-20, just blocking it. Have a wreck. I mean, I don't know if people can't drive anymore. Are they putting them out too quick out of the schools? Do they think they can drive? I mean, you tell me. And then I look online last night, and the culture rot, is just blowing up all over Jackson. And a lot of it is being exposed by, the Clay Edwards Show. Heard right here, beginning at 7:07 in the morning. Good morning, Joe Cook. East or westbound? I'm not sure. I got the message alert and it just said Ed Edwards. So just letting you know, maybe in both directions. You never know with that situation. But y'all be careful. Leave a little earlier where you can enjoy sitting still in traffic. But it's it's a concern of mine. And you look at the culture rot that I was speaking of before I lost my train of thought for a second. And there's an old there's a place right there at McDowell and what is it road? Not McDowell in Jackson and on Northside Drive, right there at the intersection there. When you come up by the McDonald's, where they in that parking lot last night, they sat there driving around in circles, racing. They race cars. You can go out there many, many, many times during the week, and during the week you'll see garbage trucks there, and then during the daytime, and then at night you'll go back and you'll see a parking lot full of people, and they're out there spinning cars around. And then there's somebody who thought that they were smart. They said, "This is private property. We can do whatever we want to on this private property." You just can't do that. Northbound 55 exit to 220 is closed for construction. Yeah, remember that too. Yeah, thank you, Ricky Gray. But I mean, the culture rot in Jackson, these people believe that they can, like this morning when I was out at the reservoir leaving, coming this way, even from Ridgeland going into Madison County. Now, the police department now, they will be aware of this, and this will not probably ever happen again. It may be just a random offshoot from the other culture rot things going on in Jackson. But basically, there was two Dodge Chargers racing. They started at when the light changed at Ridgewood and at Old Canton Road and Rice Road, and racing toward the airport there in Madison, which I'm sure that is not a wise decision for anybody to start thinking that that's a good place to race. But they were racing wide open going. And I was like, I can't believe that. I can't believe that. And they were side by side coming through there. Wrecks because people looking at their cell phones. Yep. Or from some shocking discovery coming out of Jackson. Mark Booner, good morning to you. And I just sit here and I look at everything and I just go, we got to do something about it. And you sit there and you look at the police chief of Jackson's doing something after being hired. She's now going to spend some money on a survey, and she's hired herself a chief of staff to come in to tell her that there's a crime problem in Jackson, to tell her that there's a racing problem in Jackson. What their problem is in Jackson is there's an ignorance problem in Jackson, especially in the government level. I mean, it's at a level, and this is what's happening in all these Democrat-led cities. There's people in charge who think they're in charge and know what they're doing. They get elected. They think they know what they're doing, and they really don't. And they don't think it through. They don't think. They think that they're doing right. They were asking the public what they want to do, and then the public comes in and says, "Well, I just want free water. I want free electricity. I want free food." There's a food shortage in Mississippi. I saw that in the news this morning. Was just going, there's no food shortage. There's a shortage in the ways to pay for the food. And if 42 million people in America didn't get free food, food might not cost as much. Because if when you get let's say you get government assistance, let's say, and there are people that need it, and then there are people that don't need it. And when there's people that get so much money that I've had people that I knew that looked at me and said, "I eat steak every night." There's nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that. But people that work can't afford steak every night sometimes. Old Fanning Road, same race Honda with black tag and Challenger. Yes, Jeff Thomas. Yeah. Interesting. Nothing is free. Thank you, Debbie Bergansky. Good morning to you. Nothing in this world is free. And the only thing, when you say that America is free, yeah, plus tax in Mississippi. Because, we allegedly are tax-free in this state. Our legislators tell us that. Our governors even told us that. They've gone on the national news on Fox and said, hey, Mississippi's a tax-free state. But we keep paying taxes. And then they just moved some taxes around. They got rid of these tax and added it to the gas tax. They said, and they were hoping that we wouldn't feel that because Trump was coming back into office and they were going, well, gas is going to go down. Then a war breaks out and everybody's going, well, they're blaming it on the war. Everybody's blaming the gas going up on the war. No, don't be fooled by that. It's the government. And when I say the government, I'm talking about the elected government officials and the oligarchs that want to hurt Trump and hurt the midterm elections. And you've got Republicans that are being found out and not being reelected by their own parties in other states because they have been found out that they are not true Republicans and not true conservatives and not truly American in the way that they want to save America. Now, that is just the facts. And, because we've already had our primaries and the party has already picked who's going to be in running in our elections here in Mississippi, our congressmen, they're going, well, we're safe. Okay, we're not going to redistrict. We're not going to draw the lines because we don't want to have another primary and put other people on the ballot. And the people on the ballot, they're other than Ron Eller, who is running against Benny Thompson, other than him, good morning, Michael Gober, other than him saying, look, we need to redistrict, he knows that they're not. He knows that they're not going to redistrict. So we just got to get the vote out to get rid of Benny. There are a few people that come out and say we got to get rid of Benny, but they really don't get into it. They don't. Good morning, Roger McCory. But they don't get into it like they need to. It's ridiculous. I mean, completely ridiculous to think that we cannot get rid of Benny Thompson in office, and that the legislators, senators, House of Representative members in the state government, they should be challenging some people saying we got to do this. And when they call off, and then there's still questions about the district lines of the judicial districts. Never mind, there aren't 5 districts or even 4 districts for us to have the ballot initiative where the people can have their words again and speak. There are a lot of lines here that y'all need to draw that y'all have allowed to be drawn and gerrymandered by race to keep people where you want them. And I mean, and when Delbert had too many conservatives getting into the state legislature, he just redrew the lines and got rid of them. But Delbert keeps swearing up and down he's a good conservative, and that he's going to run for office and do the right thing. Yeah. We can't believe these people anymore. It's just like in these other states where longtime Republicans that have been in office in the state of Texas, God bless America, and Yellow Rose of Texas, or whatever you say if you're in Texas and believe. And then you got these people that are just being redistricted out by their own people. Their own Republicans are voting them out and taking other people that may have less morals than them, but are good politicians and good people, just because you got caught once with your pants down, they're still putting you in office. And then those that are in office with getting caught with their pants down, all they do is go before the committee that Michael Guest heads, and they use our tax dollars and say, well, we'll cover this up. We'll pay out these people and shut these people up, and we'll do this, that, and the other. Y'all, that ain't right. That ain't right. People need to be speaking out. There shouldn't be any secrets of what you're doing with our money. Nothing. If it's our tax dollars, we need to know about it. You shouldn't be allowed to spend our money. And the Congress, at the state level and the national level, need some transparency. And unless we get some conservatives in office at some point, we're never going to know what really goes on with our money. And all they do is just ask for more and ask for more and ask for more. And they say, we need this, we need this. Meanwhile, with nobody in office right now, they keep saying, oh, we found $100 million to redo this road. We're going to do those roads, and we're going to do this. And we know that once even in Madison County, for instance, once they decided that they're going to build the road and tell a district that they're going to have it, let's say they tell Madison County that they're going to build some roads in Madison and fix some roads in Madison or Ridgeland or in Canton. What do? They pull the roads, take the money somewhere else, go up to like Camden in the middle of nowhere where they're building a Shangri-La up there. I guess that's going to be where the Democrats go to retreat to, is Camden, Mississippi, where they're trying to put in sewer after all these years. Well, I guess, but it's going to come out of our money. Why are you spending money while we're stealing money? Let's get all we can. Let's get it all. Because what if we get voted out? Those Democrats and those Republican rhinos, they're doing all they can to make it completely awful for us. And they're not helping us get by. We'll be back with more right here on the Chip Matthews Show. I am Chip Matthews. If you got something on your mind this morning, give me a call, 601-879-0002. Also remind you that today at Beethoven's Boardwalk this evening, 6 p.m., Kim Wade put together a WYAB customer listener appreciation party. Y'all come on out. There'll be some hors d'oeuvres. There'll be a cash bar. And, of course, there will be all of your WYAB staff members. Most of them are going to be out there hanging out, checking it out with you. So you come see us today. We'll be right back. WYAB staff members. Most of them are going to be out there hanging out, checking it out with you. So you come see us.
1039 WYAB.
In the heart of rural America, we know the value of an honest day's work. While the big corporate brands focus on their stock prices, Outlaw Light is focused on you. We're an independent American brand built on resilience. We don't preach or teach, we just brew. That means a high-quality, 105-calorie light beer at a price that respects your hard-earned dollar. For the patriots, the dreamers, and the doers, America deserves a new light beer. Grab an Outlaw. It's darn good beer.
All Britain's Jewelers. When love requires a gift, nothing says it better than All Britons. Since 1920, we've been part of your family. From weddings and anniversaries to holidays, we've been there for every special occasion. At All Britons, we value your trust. Every gift, whether large or small, is a reflection of our commitment to quality and excellence. There's a reason we're still Mississippi's foremost diamond merchant. Let us show you why. All Britain's Jewelry, 4460 Old Canton Road in Jackson.
All Britain's Jewelers.
Hi, this is Rita Jensen with Remax Connection, and I want to tell you, I've lived in Florida for over 50 years. I'm a graduate of Tri-County Academy, went there the first day the doors opened. If you're thinking about putting your children into Tri-County Academy and need a place to live, then give me a call. Without a doubt, the Florida expert when it comes to real estate. So if you need a place to live, give me a call. Rita Jensen, Remax Connection. 601-720-4037 or go to my website, ritajensen.net.
Have a large fleet of vehicles? Looking for somewhere to provide routine maintenance? Tired of waiting on an appointment? Ken here with Rapid Oil Change. We accept most local and national fleets as well as 30-day in-house accounts with no appointment needed. We offer maintenance packages to fit any need. Oil changes, wipers, tires, car washes, and more. Have a diesel? No sweat. We carry diesel exhaust fluid and diesel fuel filters. With over 40 years of experience, Rapid Oil is the right choice for your fleet. Stop in today and let us keep your fleet ready and on the road.
Have you been injured through no fault of your own? Do you know your rights? Don Evans does. Do you really believe that the insurance company would disclose all information to you? Don Evans will make sure that you are fully informed. It costs nothing to discuss your case. From car wrecks to malpractice, Don Evans will make you and your family whole again. Don Evans won't ever charge unless he collects for you. Call Don for a free, no-obligation consultation at 601-969-2006.
We all love the farm-to-table food concept, right? Well, at Burnt Corn Farm, they bring you locally grown flowers straight from the farm to the vase. With a wide selection of flowers and excellent service, Burnt Corn Farm will make your next party or shower a southern delight. Sign up for a monthly bouquet subscription, and their farm fresh flowers will brighten your days all season long. You can also book your next family photo session in their wildflower field. That's Burnt Corn Farm on Facebook and Instagram.
As Christians, it's our calling to be faithful to Christ and obedient to the Great Commission. Our heart's desire and prayer to God is that through our efforts, many would receive and rest upon Christ alone as he is offered to them in the gospel. I'm David Strain, Senior Minister at First Presbyterian Church of Jackson, inviting you and your family to join us as we strive to fulfill that mission. We're located on North State Street in Jackson. Times of our services can be found at fpcjackson.org. You can also hear the good news about Jesus Christ each Sunday mornings at 9:30 on 103.9 WYAB.
From a cabin on a creek to a field where the big bucks sneak. Oh yeah! Tom Smith Land and Homes. Find your place where your roots can grow. From hunting ground to front door key, call the landman of Mississippi. Tom Smith Land and Homes. Yeah, the landman's who you need. Brought to you by Tom and Ellen Smith. Tom Smith Land and Homes. That's it.
Welcome back to the Chip Matthews Show, and here is your host, Chip Matthews.
It is the Chip Matthews Show. I, of course, am Chip Matthews on a Thursday morning, 6:28 a.m., 73 degrees outside, and it looks like we're going to have a better day today. It's a little cloudy. Also, remember, once again, I'm going to remind you again, that big listener appreciation party tonight out at Beethoven's Boardwalk, right there. All your WYAB staff guys are going to be out there. We'll be out there signing autographs, taking pictures, whatever we need to do. Just come on out and see us. Basically, we'll be probably talking politics with everybody out there, and we like to see you, and we like to get your support. And then, of course, if you own a business and some of the business people that advertise here will all be out there. Shake up, thank them. The best way to thank them is to always use their businesses as the places where you go to do business, because these people care about Mississippi and America, and they would like to see the good things happen. Andy Devine says, if Ron Eller loses, would he have grounds for a lawsuit in that he had to run in an unconstitutional racial gerrymandered district? Yes, he would. Yes, he would. And, that's the sad thing is when we're constantly looking at situations and you keep putting ourselves, the legislature puts us in situations to get sued. They say, we're going to get sued anyway. We're going to get sued anyway. We'll go with the one that they're not particularly, Ron is not in the circle of normal Republicans in the state because he's a conservative and he's a Christian. And not all Republicans seem to appear in that mode, if you know what I mean. So, and they don't think about us. They think about their pocketbooks and what they're going to do, and taking care of their friends in their PACs and their what would you call them? The lobbyists and all of that. Because when you look, I mean, there's no reason why a local businessman couldn't go to South Jackson. And I mean, even if you were some of the grocery stores that have been appearing in Madison County and in Rankin County, and I know why they don't go do it, because you got no police protection in these areas. And so when you go and open up a store in Jackson and you're going to prosecute somebody who came into your store, I mean, the biggest loss prevention thing in a grocery store is you've got to cut down on the theft. Okay, that's got to be done. I mean, the only thing I know to do is to go back in time and be like Sam Drucker at Green Acres, and you come in the store and he looks on the shelf behind him, and we've gotten so far away from that, but they could reach behind the shelf and they'll pull all your things down off the shelf, and then that would possibly help deter some of the theft that goes on inside a restaurant and a grocery store. But that's what you're headed toward in Jackson, is going back to when you could control things to open up things. Like, if you went to Jackson and opened up a store that just sold milk and bread, and you probably could make a ton of money selling milk and bread because one, everybody's got checks. Everybody's got EBT cards. So you get in there and you just sell milk and bread, and you get a counter and you sell some bologna, just sell the staples for people to eat. Now, you're not going to be the most popular place, but you could make a living. You could make a living doing it. You won't be the richest man in the world. You won't be this, that, and the other, but you'll be like the entrepreneurs that were after World War II that opened up grocery stores, like my grandfather, who opened them up and down the Delta, all the way from Canton all the way up to Indianola, where he opened up one of the first big giant superstores there, which later on became a Sunflower. But these grocery stores, independent operators, can't survive as if theft. And you go look at a convenience store. Convenience stores become pretty much where you can go get Coke, and you got all these windows for water and Gatorade. Groceries in there anymore. You may see a can in some stores. You'll see a can of Vienna sausages. Yeah, maybe a sardine. But I mean, they're not. Convenience stores were originally open to be convenient to work after hours in the locations to where the big box stores had shut down, or the supermarkets in the area. Now, if we go into big box stores, they're the ones that are fixed to control all the food throughout the Delta. They already do. There are towns that don't have grocery stores, and all throughout Benny Thompson's district, that's exactly what it looks like. And as you look at these things that are occurring, the legislature's not doing anything to help the situation. They say, well, we're not in that business. We don't do that. Well, you're watching Benny Thompson slowly tear down communities. And then y'all are siding with big box stores now to try to get rid of pharmacies. There's a big push to do that. And they haven't done it yet, but they're getting there. And y'all don't think the sports betting money isn't still out there laying around. And I mean, you look at all these little things that the lobbyists are they're not taking action on it because they're getting money on the other side. Legislators didn't do any work this year. They hadn't done any work in the last few years. And under the leadership of Delbert Hoseman, I'd hate to see what would happen to the entire state, because he's doing everything he can from where he can to keep a whole lot of things from happening. We'll be back with more right here on the Chip Matthews Show. I, of course, am Chip Matthews. Dawn is off today. She'll be here tomorrow. Yo, hang on. We'll be back with more right here on the Chip Matthews Show. I, of course, am Chip Matthews. Dawn is off today. She'll be here tomorrow.
103.9 WYAB.
We'd like to thank the thousands who came out this past weekend to Beethoven's Boardwalk and checked out the newest place on the reservoir. So this weekend, come out and party with thousands. Gather up your friends and join the party. They played to thousands. They were the final band to play the dock. And this week at Beethoven's Boardwalk, it's the world-famous Velcro Pygmies. Yes, the Velcro Pygmies invade the reservoir this weekend at Beethoven's Boardwalk. Coming your way Saturday night, it's Chris Gill and the Soul Shakers. Coming your way Sunday, it's the Super Sunday Buffet with Southern Grass, Bluegrass on the deck, and Cucho and Carlos that afternoon. Remember, there's a lunch special daily, and Acme Pizza now open with 12 different daiquiris, plus the rocker. Come try all the dining concepts at Beethoven's Boardwalk, Acme Pizza, and Pork and Flames, 135 Madison Landing Circle, next to Cock of the Walk.
Yazoo Valley Electric Power Association wants you to stay away from downed power lines. Downed power lines carry the risk of deadly electric shock, even if the broken wire is not sparking. If a wire is crossing a road or driveway, avoid the area and keep others away. If you see a downed power line, back away and call your utility company or 911. When you call, be prepared to provide the specific address or location of the downed power line so a repair crew can get there as quickly as possible. This safety message brought to you by Yazoo Valley Electric Power Association.
Potrillo, hear that call. Best Mexican food of all. Hot and fresh, that's what you get. Every plate you won't forget. El Potrillo, vámonos. Best Mexican food around, you know. El Potrillo, come on through. Hot, fresh, delicious for you. El Potrillo Mexican Restaurant.
El Potrillo Mexican Restaurant, located in Flowood and Brandon.
ABC News, I'm Sherry Preston. The U.S. military this morning is calling it an egregious ceasefire violation. Missiles intercepted by Kuwait, launched by Iran. Worries about the state of the ceasefire sending oil prices up again in early morning trading. Sources tell ABC News the Justice Department is now investigating E. Jean Carroll, the woman who accused President Trump of sexual assault and won a $5 million civil judgment against him. Here's ABC's Alex Mallon.
It's unclear what precedent there is for the Justice Department getting involved in a civil deposition that does not relate in any way to a statement that's related to federal law enforcement. Again, the Justice Department was in no way at any point involved in this lawsuit that was brought by E. Jean Carroll until President Trump sought to have the case dismissed.
9 people are still unaccounted for and presumed dead after the rupture of a chemical tank in Washington state. 2 people are confirmed dead. This is ABC News.
Get ready, Louisiana! Johnny's Pizza House is turning up the heat with our sweet the swamp pizza. Packed with crawfish, shrimp, a taste of crab, andouille sausage, bell peppers, onions, jalapenos, and a blend of Cajun spices, all smothered in delicious mozzarella cheese. It's the perfect bite of the bayou and the perfect meal for any Cajun crave. Try our Cajun flip or dive into a sweet the swamp pizza bowl. A taste of Louisiana flavor is waiting on you. Let's share a slice today at Johnny's Pizza House.
It's road trip season again. Is your vehicle ready? Take your vehicle to Green's Tire and Auto on Ridgewood Road in Ridgeland to get it in tip-top shape before you head out of town. Don't get stranded while you're away from home. Preventative maintenance is their specialty at Green's Tire and Auto. And if your check engine light is already on, then Green's Tire and Auto can tell what's wrong and get it fixed. Before you start your road trip, take your car to Green's Tire and Auto, Ridgewood Road in Ridgeland.
At Flora Animal Hospital, our team doesn't just take care of your pet's needs. We feel like it starts with the pet parents. If the pet parent is informed thoroughly and understands the situation with the animal and why certain things need to be done or certain medications need to be given, it's easier to get that done. Our website is floraanimalhospital.com. It'll take you straight to the online store where your medicine can be purchased, food can be purchased, prescription or non-prescription, and they will be shipped straight to your front door. floraanimalhospital.com.
Welcome back to the Chip Matthews Show, and here is your host, Chip Matthews.
It's 6:37 in the morning, bright and early. Get up out of bed, get moving, get where you got to go. This is the show that makes that happen. Just to let y'all know. There's some people apologizing they won't be there tonight. That's fine. I'm there every day. You can come by and visit with me anytime. And a lot of the staff is always out there eating or in the area. So you can come on by. We're around. Also, Willie Bowles, good morning to you. Jenny Halford, good morning to you. Good morning to you, Chris. And all people that are stuck in traffic eastbound on I-20 coming out of at the Edwards location. That's where it's all going on. Good morning, J.C. Dunn. 2 cups of coffee for Chippy only. I have no help today. Anyway, it's interesting. I mean, tell me something. When we lost the ballot initiative, when they took it from us because you damn people in Mississippi got out and voted, and you voted for pot to become what we needed. Okay? So you voted it in pot. We're going to get pot. Legislature said, oh, no, you're not going to get pot unless we can control it. So they had to take a lawsuit, and they go in, they come up with the technicality that 20% of Mississippians get to decide whether or not a ballot initiative can go forward. And the argument was 5 districts, you only can count 5. There was 5 congressional districts, so you had to have 20% in each of the 5 districts, right? And you couldn't count any votes passed. Once you got to 20%, that was it. You had to stop. Okay? So we had 5 districts. So all 5 districts. No, we didn't have 5 districts. That's the problem. We only had 4 districts. But guess what? Those 4 districts still represented all 5 districts of the state. Even the gerrymandered district of Benny Thompson was in there. But there's 4 districts. 4 districts. 20% of 4 districts is the same as 20% of 5 districts. You understand? Period. You just have to readjust how you do it. And this is something the legislature immediately said that they would take up and fix almost 8 years ago. Have not. No special session. They were talking about a special session for that immediately, if you remember. They haven't done anything about it. The voice of the people of Mississippi. This is Republican and Democrat, y'all. This is both sides. In the primary showed that only 17% of y'all got out and voted. 17%. Do you understand that? 17% got out and voted. So when you look at the makeup of the 17%, it's still close to 50-50 because Democrats get as much as they need and Republicans get as much as they need. But it really isn't 50-50 because half of the Republicans are a bunch of rhinos. That's why when things come before the legislature, they've already agreed. You got all this corruption and all this money that was given out to all these 503Cs and this, that, and the other. All the nonprofits, all the made up business arrangements that we have with different county governments, like Madison County gets to be a part of the money that Makita spends, the Madison County Economic Development Authority, but they're a nonprofit. So any money that goes in there, no. You can't go audit it, because we don't audit nonprofits. They can do whatever they want. They're not breaking any laws. That's why Mr. DiBiase got off. It's because when they gave him the money, he was part of a nonprofit. He was allowed to spend that money any way he wanted. That's the way it works, y'all. The system has flaws in it. And then there are innocent people that get sucked in, like, for instance, in the case of Ted DiBiase, we may not like the way he spent his money, but it was his money to spend once we gave it to him. And we gave it to him because we allow these fools. Yeah, that's right. My grandmother would say I'm in danger of hellfire for saying that. Never call anybody a fool. But anyway, these fools in our government in Mississippi know exactly what they're doing with the money. And you've got new politicians. Let's say a new legislator gets hired. He gets in there and he goes, look, I'm going to get along. And this guy, he's been in here for 25, 30 years. He's been there for 25, 30 years. I want to be a good person and be there for 25 or 30 years. And then you get there and then you just get sucked into the game. And then you want to come back and explain it to me. Chip, you just don't know all the intricacies. And if you do this, you do that. That's because when you start to do something, you should only do things that you got to get it down to your district. You go, well, one argument they'll tell you that you represent the entire state. Okay, so they'll tell you that when you get here, you have to think about everybody in all the other state if we're doing good for everybody else. Okay, but the first place you should take care of is at home, regardless of what they say. You can't fix a single problem at your house or statewide or citywide or countywide till you fix your own house. Like, for instance, let's say Jackson is the capital city. What if Jackson helped us with all our law enforcement throughout the state? That wouldn't work at all. If we let Jackson, the city of Jackson, dictate our government throughout the state, would that work? No. So when you look at the people you elect and put in the office and the people that come out and vote, like, for instance, we have alderman districts in Canton. Now, Canton is the most gerrymandered city that exists in the world, other than Madison County is the most gerrymandered county that I know of in the last few years to make sure that banks could get into office. But if you really, really, really look at it, you shouldn't be able to put an alderman on the board that has the equal power of the rest of the city when less than 100 people vote in that one area. Okay? And then you got another district where it'll take 1,000 votes to win. You got another area where it takes 500 votes to win. You got one area where that they're not going to vote, but you gerrymandered the district because you've got it down to where you're going to get somebody in office who's going to support the mayor. And the district that the mayor came from Canton, the district that he came from in his last race was 109 to 108. Okay. But in the last race, I don't think 100 people voted in that district at all. And at 109 to 108, there was a lot of cheating going on. And it was known to be cheating. And it went to court, you know. And in that district, prior to him being in office, in that one district, when Vicki McNeil was elected, I want to say the vote was 23 to 17. Yeah, that's right. Less than 50 people voted, 23 to 17. Y'all, you can't make this stuff up. And this is what goes on all over. These gerrymandered districts, these gerrymandered areas, and these gerrymandered politics is everywhere. I mean, when they talk about redistricting, they should be redistricting the entire state of Mississippi because it's all based on race, no matter what anybody says. Now, the funny thing about it is you can base it on party affiliation. You can draw the lines based on party affiliation. You could draw the lines based on who drinks alcohol or who doesn't drink alcohol. You can draw the party lines based on who goes to church and who doesn't go to church. That's close to separation of church and state in an argument. But the reality is you could, because that's not race. Race is the issue. And the race war that people are trying to create nationwide is starting right here in Mississippi. And everything in America starts in the Benny Thompson district if it is democratic in nature. And I know y'all think I'm just being crazy, but we live in a socialist state. We live in a state where in Benny Thompson's district, there's not enough medical. And they go, oh, we got rule, blah, blah, blah. What? Okay, so the socialist mayor got into New York. What does he got to do? He wants to put in government-controlled grocery stores, right? Well, that's where we're headed in the Benny Thompson district. And the state of Mississippi knows that. Those legislatures all know that. In his district, they know that there's no grocery stores. They know that they've slowly the big box stores have run everybody out. And that this city doesn't have any food in their town, and you have to travel to get it. And then when a person does open up a store in that area, the groceries are higher in that area because they can't compete with the low prices of the big box store down the road, who has buying power. You know, economics, it's real simple. If we go back to school teaching some basic math skills, teach them right. I wrote something in cursive the other day and I have people in my staff that are 18, 19, 20 that are working at the restaurant now. I said, what do you mean you can't read cursive writing? Well, we don't do that anymore. The only thing we write is our name in cursive. They teach that. What society are we to where we're going to be soon drawing on the walls stick people like cavemen? We're going backwards. We're going backwards in society, and we don't care. We don't care because we let our legislators do this. And they don't talk about school choice. Look, the only part of school choice is we should have the right as the people to say, we would like you to teach something in school. That's the choice we need. We need you to be able to tell them that we want you to teach them math. We want to teach them how to read, how to write, how to survive in the world. We want to teach them about how the government works. We want to teach them civics. We want to teach them. Teach! I don't want them to learn how to pass a test that they can memorize the scores. And like in Canton, we had a person who ran for mayor who is banned from teaching for 10 years. And because she was taking the test for the students to make sure that Canton could stay off of the bottom. And what makes you think that ain't happening in these third grade reading scores? I mean, because if the teachers can't, if we got 18, 19, 20-year-old teachers or 20, whatever teachers, some of those teachers probably can't even read cursive writing. They can't read anything. They take the test for them and they're barely passing the test. Come on, people, wake up. We are trying to dumb down Mississippi to the point that we are all ignorant. as they believe that we are. Never mind, Mississippi invented everything in the world. Yes, we did. First text came out of Mississippi. Remember that. Remember that. Okay, so we led to the problem of what we have today, where everybody's always texting and on the phone while they're trying to drive. So we created all the problems in the driving on the interstates. That's why we've been texting, and I guess our legislator and all them been texting, and they don't hit these potholes. I don't know, we don't do anything. It's just stupid. It's real stupid. Y'all remember, you can come out and meet all of us from the WYAB staff, and we're all stupid and ignorant and dumb and don't know any better and have nothing better to do. We'll be all out at Beethoven's this evening, 6:00, listener appreciation party. Come on out and see us. We'd love to talk to you. So come see us out there. We'll be back with more right here on the Chip Matthews Show on WYAB. So come see us out there. We'll be back with more right here on the Chip Matthews Show.
1039 WYAB.
In the heart of rural America, we know the value of an honest day's work. While the big corporate brands focus on their stock prices, Outlaw Light is focused on you. We're an independent American brand built on resilience. We don't preach or teach, we just brew. That means a high-quality, 105-calorie light beer at a price that respects your hard-earned dollar. For the patriots, the dreamers, and the doers, America deserves a new light beer. Grab an Outlaw. It's darn good beer.
We all plan to be on time, but fender benders, damaged windshields, and slick roads quickly disrupt those plans. At Shelter Insurance, our agents help design personal protection plans that work for you and help keep you on track. Shelter Insurance. We're your shield. We're your shelter.
See Shelter Agent Jamie Creel in Flora and Ridgeland, 601-992-6000.
This is Demario Davis from the New Orleans Saints. As a Brandon, Mississippi native, I've seen the positive effects Mercy House Adult and Teen Challenge has across the state. Help us restore broken families and fight against addiction by donating an unneeded vehicle, even if it doesn't run. Mercy House will pick it up for you. All paperwork is handled and you receive a tax deduction. Call 601-572-7296 or visit vehicledonationsms.com.
Thank you for helping us get our daddies back.
Need to ship something fast, print something now, or wrap the perfect gift? Head to the Mailroom Gluckstadt, your one-stop shop for all major shipping carriers. We pack and ship with care, offer private mailbox rentals, copy services, create and print banners, print your photos, lamination, binding, and secure document shredding. We always have a notary available, and we do gift wrapping too. Head to the Mailroom Gluckstadt across from Callaway's or online at mailroomgluckstadt.com. Stop in today and get it all done in one place.
This is Jack Kaufman. For nearly 31 years, Tico's Steakhouse has been a staple of fine dining in Jackson, Mississippi. Dad has long since desired for me to come work alongside him. And now that I'm here, I would like to invite you to come experience our family tradition of our hospitality, sizzling steaks, and healthy poured beverages. Our dining rooms are open and we are taking reservations. Our private rooms are also available along with takeout. Call today or stop in and experience Tico's in the second generation.
Tico's Steakhouse, East County Lime Road in Ridgeland, 601-956-1030.
What are people saying about Tom's Fried Pies in Richland?
Tom's Fried Pies. And I made the mistake. I ordered one pie. I figured, you know what? I'll try Tex-Mex. It was so good. Man, second go round, I ate the pecan pie. You will need a meat pie and a dessert one. Get both because they are off the hook.
I went to Tom's Fried Pies today, and I'm going back. I tried the taco one. Really good. When I go back, I'll bring some home.
Tom'sFriedPies.com. Looking for farm fresh produce, high quality local beef, dairy, and desserts? Look no further than the Farm Store in Flora. We've got the sweetest, juiciest fruits and vibrant vegetables from Two Dog Farms, plus premium beef, all from right here in the community. Whether you're cooking up a feast or just grabbing a healthy snack, the Farm Store has got you covered. Freshness you can taste, prices you'll love. Find us on Facebook at The Farm Store by Two Dog Farm.
Hey, Rankin County, swing by the locally owned and award-winning 042 Wine and Spirits on Highway 80 next to Sonny's Barbecue in Brandon today. We've got one of the largest selections around with over 200 bourbons and whiskeys to ignite your taste buds, more than 50 vodkas, 50-plus tequilas, 30-plus rums, and ready-to-drink cocktails, as well as premium scotches. And get this, we've got over 400 wines in stock for the perfect pairing anytime. Discover your new favorites today at 042 Wine and Spirits right next to Sonny's Barbecue, Highway 80, Cross Gates, Brandon.
Welcome back to the Chip Matthews Show, and here is your host, Chip Matthews.
It is the Chip Matthews Show. I, of course, am Chip Matthews, streaming to you on Facebook, YouTube, X, everywhere. Rumble, we're there. You can see us. You know, a lot of people have been seeing the reels lately because there's lots and lots of stuff that I've been saying that the internet's been picking up and going viral, and I'm glad to see that. And people talking about. Lloyd Travis brings up Mississippi lost its 5th district after the 2000 census, which covered the coast and part of the Pine Belt. Gene Taylor was the last representative. Now, my way of looking at that, Lloyd, is a little different from yours because the way I understand you should be redrawing the districts at a regular business. We lost the district because they didn't count enough people, okay? They said that we were decreasing in population, but and that there were other states that got more people than we did. Well, the reality is a district, you could draw the district lines the way they do them. You could draw them to where the regions of the state are looked at differently, or you could just draw a line from the city of Jackson, go this way, go that way, go this way, go that way, and then move the lines around till you got your 4th, 5th districts, and make them all be a wide variety of the entire state. I mean, because right now they allow Memphis and Natchez. I mean, because basically there's a Memphis, Mississippi right there at the border, y'all. So Memphis to Natchez to Macomb, that area, that's all Benny Thompson world. That's all Benny Thompson's world. And the same problems that happen in the north happen in the south of Mississippi. Yeah, that's the way it is. And everybody throughout that district, and all 4 HBCUs, you want to talk about a gerrymandered district, all 4 HBCUs where the biggest part of the fraud goes on in the election time. You'll have a box show up in the middle of the night in Madison County from Tougaloo all of a sudden that'll put somebody over the top. But all 4 of the HBCUs are located in Benny Thompson's district. And don't think that isn't by design. Because the radical freaks out there who go on these campuses, and I mean, it goes on at Ole Miss State where you have a bunch of liberals saying things, but they go in there and they preach hate. They preach. You know, you got to hate Whitey. Whitey's trying to take over the world. You know, men built this country. And unfortunately, the white man was here first, y'all. We were here. We're the one that created this great society. This inclusive society where everybody has a voice. And then we're also the same ones, along with some crazy people, who are trying to quieten the voice in order to control the dollars. They don't, the people that first got here and built America were looking out for the people. The people that are now in charge are only looking out for the dollar. Because, and they get you dependent on something like gas and oil. I mean, if gas and oil didn't exist, we would have smaller communities and we just wouldn't go that far because you couldn't go to work every morning 26 miles away. But gas and oil has become the way it works. And then and having these cities and all that, there's no simple life anymore. You got to, in Mississippi, like in New York, you can live without a car. But in Mississippi, that's just not happening. That is not happening. You've got to have a car to see everything, to do everything, to be a part of everything, to communicate inside this world. And we're dependent on gas. We're also dependent on food. And in the Delta and throughout the Benny Thompson district, they're taking food away. Jackson is running out of grocery stores, y'all. Especially South Jackson. It's a food desert. And I mean, for years, you couldn't find people that owned independent grocery restaurants in that area were pulling out. You can't live with the crime. The crime runs you out. The good people that are trying to make things happen can't hang out and be there. It's just the facts of life. Y'all, I'm going to be hanging out here with y'all for another 35, 40 minutes. I'm going to hang in on Clay on the first part of his show and, destroy his ratings. And this evening, I want y'all to come out and see us at the Beethoven's Boardwalk. Remember, today for lunch, it is pork chops and meatloaf. Yeah, there you go. Come see us. I'll be back on the other side of the news with Clay Edwards on WYAB. Clay.
This is Central Mississippi's Stimulating Talk.
1039 WYAB. Pocahontas, Jackson.
From ABC News, I'm Sherry Preston. The U.S. military slamming Iran for violating a fragile ceasefire. Kuwait saying it came under attack from Iran in the latest flare-up, all of it threatening ongoing talks. ABC senior Washington correspondent Rachel Scott has more.
President Trump now claims Iran is negotiating on fumes, rejecting the regime's demands to take control over the Strait of Hormuz in coordination with Oman. Would you accept a short-term deal that allows Iran and Oman to control the strait? And would they have to open it immediately, or would you be open to that happening over a period of time?
No, the strait's going to be open to everybody.
And who would control it?
International waters. Nobody's going to control it. We're going to watch over it. We'll watch over it, but nobody's going to control it.
Israel's Air Force carrying out strikes on a southern suburb of Beirut, where Israel's military has issued a warning for people to leave the area, all of it causing oil prices to be up again today. The Trump Justice Department now investigating the woman who filed and won a civil suit against the president on sexual assault charges.
Sources tell ABC News the investigation is allegedly centered around whether Carroll committed perjury during her civil lawsuits against Trump. Carroll was awarded a $5 million civil judgment in 2023 that found Trump liable for sexually abusing her in a department store dressing room in the mid-1990s and defaming her.
ABC's Mary Bruce. It's still too dangerous around that chemical tank in Washington state to search for the 9 missing.
Images from inside the damage zone show a pile of contaminated gear roped off, all of it set to be destroyed. Fire boots covered in so-called white liquor, the toxic substance used in the paper-making process. More than 550,000 gallons of it spilled out when the tank ruptured early Tuesday. 2 people have died. The 9 workers still missing are now presumed dead.
That's ABC's Hannah Battah. You're listening to ABC News.
Lunch was great, but this traffic is awful. Can we stop at a bathroom? Are you all right?
I keep having stomach issues after eating, like diarrhea, gas and bloating, abdominal pain, and sometimes oily stools.
Sound familiar? Those stomach issues may actually be a pancreas issue called exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, or EPI. Creon pancrelipase may help manage EPI. Creon is a prescription medicine used to treat people who can't digest food normally because their pancreas doesn't make enough enzymes.
Creon may increase your chance of fibrosing colonopathy, a rare bowel disorder. Tell your doctor if you have a history of intestinal blockage or scarring or thickening of your bowel wall, if you are allergic to pork, or if you have gout, kidney problems, or worsening of painful swollen joints. Call your doctor if you have any unusual or severe gastrointestinal symptoms or allergic reactions. Take Creon as directed by your doctor and always with food. Do not chew capsules as this may cause mouth irritation. Other side effects may include blood sugar changes, gas, dizziness, sore throat, and cough. These are not all the side effects of Creon. Call 800-633-9110 or visit creoninfo.com to learn more. That's creoninfo.com.
I'm asking my doctor about EPI.
News this hour is brought to you by the Rusty Healy Agency in Madison. Call Landon Thompson at 601-856-3681 to request a quote or learn more.
A woman from Mississippi dies in the Florida Keys. This afternoon, you've got a 50% chance for showers and storms with a high at 83. Overnight, you've got a 30% chance for more rain with a low at 69. Friday, you've got a 60% chance for showers and storms with a high at 83. More rain is expected Saturday and Sunday. You've got news on 1039 WYAB. I'm Chris Davis. It was while she was snorkeling in Florida Wednesday that Leisha Elizabeth Spriggs of Madison was spotted unresponsive in the water near Mule Key. The people she was with tried to help her with CPR and artificial respiration, which was not successful. The 63-year-old was pronounced dead after being pulled to shore by members of the Coast Guard and taken to the hospital. An autopsy has been scheduled to determine cause and manner of death. A life sentence has been handed 54-year-old Ron Allen of Jackson to the shooting on July 31st last year of his wife, 25-year-old Malia Bess, who was murdered inside the leasing office at Westwood Apartments. That's where Allen was holed up for several hours, finally giving up to the SWAT team. A truck stolen in George County was chased by police all the way into Mobile County, Alabama, where it was finally stopped, and Charles Mott and a woman named Stephanie Valentine both arrested. Authorities believe the pair not only stole the truck, but robbed and beat someone in Mississippi before the chase. Whether Carly Gregg will spend the rest of her life in prison without the possibility of parole, or whether she will have a chance at seeing freedom again, is now up to the state Supreme Court, who heard arguments Wednesday from Gregg's defense team that it's illegal to sentence a juvenile to life with no parole. More news in 1 hour on 103.9 WYAB. I'm Chris Davis.
We'd like to thank the thousands who came out this past weekend to Beethoven's Boardwalk and checked out the newest place on the reservoir. So this weekend, come out and party with thousands. Gather up your friends and join the party. They played to thousands. They were the final band to play the dock. And this week at Beethoven's Boardwalk, it's the world-famous Velcro Pygmies. Yes, the Velcro Pygmies invade the reservoir this weekend at Beethoven's Boardwalk. Coming your way Saturday night, it's Chris Gill and the Soul Shakers. Coming your way Sunday, it's the Super Sunday Buffet with Southern Grass, Bluegrass on the deck, and Cucho and Carlos that afternoon. Remember, there's a lunch special daily, and Acme Pizza now open with 12 different daiquiris, plus the rocker. Come try all the dining concepts at Beethoven's Boardwalk, Acme Pizza, and Pork and Plain, 135 Madison Landing Circle, next to Cock of the Walk.
Welcome to the Clay Edwards Show. More adrenaline.
You know, it's a pretty interesting time to be alive. What's the saying? May the times you live in be interesting. We have accomplished that.
More testosterone for your morning drive.
But when you know you've got a problem, how about tell people and be honest? What's going on?
Going to war on cancel culture and bringing the spotlight on issues and topics from around the city of Jackson.
I feel like Jackson, Mississippi.
No one else wants to talk about.
The whole system is corrupt and evil. It's unreal, and they don't care, and everybody knows that. It's just sad.
And fights for the soul of America.
I'm going to need y'all to explain to me what a positive solution is, because you positive solutions only people have been in charge for a while now, and I'm not seeing too many positive solutions.
You never met a white like
Strap in, turn up the volume, and get ready, Jackson, for unfiltered, no sugar added talk radio. It's award-winning podcaster Clay Edwards.
Boom goes the dynamite. Good morning, all of y'all. Chip Matthews sitting in for Clay Edwards on the Clay Edwards Show for just a moment. Just a moment. You know, he had to get his beauty rest. And if y'all know Clay, he needs a lot of beauty rest. But he's on his way. He's on his way. He's on the road. He's out there fighting the traffic from, you know, when I leave to come to work in the morning, there is no traffic. You know, when he leaves, all you Democrats, he has to drive through the Democrats to get to the building here in Flora on the 5th floor of the radio program. So y'all be careful out there, because there he is. You know, I know many of you like to spot him and say he's the king of culture rot. No, he's the king of the reporter of the culture rot. Yeah, and he's doing a great job, and y'all know it. And that's why his show is so popular and people listen to it. And why this radio station is so popular and people listen to it is because all of us have an opinion on what's going on in the world. And all we know is that the politicians are not taking care of us. I mean, now I am really hard on the politicians. You know, I really, really, really think that our legislators need to get off their butt and do something. And if you reverted all the way back to when we lost the pot vote, when the pot thing went down, they said, okay, we're going to take the ballot initiative away. Okay. And they said, you cannot This law doesn't work. And you took the voice of the people out. That's when it all started to really go to hell in Mississippi. Exactly what happened. I mean, when we lost, they were fighting over the pot thing, but the pot thing isn't it. But if you really start looking into it through they started doing legislatures, Delbert and them said, oh no, we'll never get rid of the flag. Now I bring up the flag and everybody goes, oh, that's racist. No, I'm bringing up what happened. It could have been the flag. It could have been coffee. They could have said they were banning coffee. Okay. But the flag, we had a flag we liked. The state had put it in place in the Constitution, which we don't really read the Constitution because the Constitution says that in every classroom in Mississippi, there will be a Bible. And it's not. They don't care about the Constitution. They just throw it away. And the Constitution of America and the Constitution of Mississippi should be important to you as a voter. Of course, only 17% of you vote. So 83% of you are in agreement with these politicians who run our state because they're doing such a great job, right? Wrong. You didn't vote them in. You voted them in by not voting. You got 17% of us decided who was going to be on the ballot in November. So November, you're going to show up. Let's say I inspire a bunch of you to go vote. And you're going to say, all I had to vote for was the same people that are already on the ballot all the time. That's right. That's right. You have already missed your opportunity to fix the problem. Now, of course, they redrew the districts between now and then. Everybody would have to requalify for their districts. Oh, we don't want to do that. You know what that's going to cost the Republican Party, the Democratic Party? We held our own primaries last time. And then, of course, Republicans, they didn't have enough people working the polls to have people in every poll place to run it. They let Democrats run Republican polls. At least that's what they did in Madison County. I know they did. Because I went in there and asked. They said, we're getting, and the county paid for the election. That's the thing that's funny is it was supposed to be run by the parties out of their pocket, but the county paid for it. Our tax dollars paid for something that we're not supposed to pay. And the other side of that is only 17% of us care about elections. So really only 17% of our tax dollars should have been going for the election. 17% that's awarded that. Never mind in Madison County. We're still looking for $2.7 million or an explanation on who took the 2.7. We know who we wrote the check to. We wrote the money, put it out of the account 4 years ago, and they just let it lie. We got some of the money back. Nobody was prosecuted. Nobody's done anything. Bubba, get off your butt. I don't understand that. Let's see. Judge declines to halt President Trump's execution order to create a federal voter list and limit mail-in voting. Well, we need to get rid of mail-in voting. Yep. That just doesn't need to happen. I'm looking at breaking news as it breaks. As it breaks, the media tries to fix it. Breaking news. It's really disgusting here in Mississippi that our legislators, that we need to get the ballot initiative back in place. And they're so scared if they gave us that power again, what if the flag came up again? When they did get a chance to do the flag and decide how they were going to do it, Delbert and them made sure it was this one or this one, not the one that was supposed to be on the ballot. Oh, that's historic. We're going to get rid of that. And then they were going to have that special session. And remember all the pomp and circumstance, and we're going to hold it at the old Capitol. No, that was only done that way to create. It's almost like they wanted to create the racial fight that is going on now. And they wanted to inspire the black vote to get off their butt and make it harder for anybody to want to change anything because they needed the blacks to be against redistricting. So they did everything they could as the legislators. Now, understand this. Jason White knew exactly what he was doing when he said, we're going to do it at the old Capitol. And in the old Capitol, what's in the old Capitol? That's where the historic flag is. That's where they put it. There's also a statue of Jefferson Davis out front, the Confederate statues up there. That's where Jim Crow started. So they did all of that to stir up the blacks and the black activists so that they wouldn't have to do this. They knew all along they weren't going to have this special session. But they need to stir the base to where the base of the blacks would want not to redistrict Benny Thompson's district and say that the white man is doing it. They created the race war that goes on. And then in there, if you go back to the school choice plan, that was something that was going on where they were bringing back segregation, busing, getting people around. What is going on with our state legislature? They are playing games with us. I mean, don't think that people riling up. I mean, everybody, look, only 17% of the people vote this state in the primary. Only 17%. So when you go and you do things to create a race argument, which when Jason White said that he was going to do this special session, they were going to meet at the old Capitol because they're redoing the new Capitol. Never mind that they, any other time they want to do some drinking or whatever, they go down to the Coliseum and do it there or wherever they find places to go. Never mind that. They could have done it on the coast at the casinos and gone gambling at the same time. They ain't got it, but the thing is, they created the argument that is going on now that it's got black and white against each other talking about redistricting. They are stirring the base of the black where the black will come out and say, y'all are trying to screw us over. It doesn't matter how you draw the districts. Jackson is going to be represented by blacks and Democrats, period. There's no way around that. Port Gibson, black. All these cities that are predominantly black, they're still going to be represented by the race of black. But that doesn't mean that they want that. They may be Republicans. There was a lot of black Republicans at one time in this state of Mississippi. And all of this stuff is being ruled by the dollar, because if they keep everything status quo, then they'll eventually get their big box stores in place to get rid of the mom and pop drug dealers. Not drug dealers, but pharmacists. Never mind. They want to get rid of the mom and pop pharmacists and replace them with drug dealers that are the big box stores. They want to take the big box stores and put them in place all across the Delta. That's going to be the food supplier. In South Jackson, the only place that's going to have food right now is the one on 18. And you go into that parking lot, you can get murdered, raped, shot. It's one-stop shopping there. You get your crime and your food at one place. It's ridiculous for us to think that this was all when they decided to say we're going to have a special session to look at redistricting. It was stupid to ever say that we were going to go to the old Capitol. And they wanted to stir the black base. They wanted the NAACP to get out there. They wanted the Southern Poverty Law Center. Never mind, they're in trouble for hiring the KKK to do things. Never mind all of that. We're just going to use the same normal names of the people that we stir up to get things going, and we're going to get it going. And that's what they did. So we sit in a state where if they can keep us, the voters, on edge and not voting, not wanting to care, not wanting to be a part of it, then they can to do it. Because it's easy to manipulate a Democrat. That's the easiest bunch of people to manipulate all day long. You can make them believe anything in the world. You can make them believe that the white man wants to kill them. You can make the white man wants to starve them to death. You can do that all day long. And the liberal Democrats are right there in bed with them saying, yeah, that's exactly what they're doing. The little blue-haired freaks. We'll be back with more right here on the Clay Edwards Show. I'm Chip Matthews, filling in. And Clay is on his way. He'll be here, and he'll probably have to correct me on everything I've said. But anyway, we'll be right back in just a moment. On his way. He'll be here, and he'll probably have to correct me on everything I've said. But anyway, we'll be right back.
1039 WYAB.
Hey, business owners, want your phones to ring away? Get your name on the airwaves with the Clay Edwards Show today. Tell the town who you are while they're driving in their cars. If you want your business to grow, advertise on the Clay Edwards Show. Contact Contact info at WIAB.com. Contact info at WIAB.com.
When it's time to get serious about work-ready equipment, come see me, Noah Sullivan, at H&H Chief Sales in Carthage. From rugged Big Tex trailers to durable CM and Legend X truck bed, H&H has what your truck needs to work harder and last longer. For the field, H&H carries reliable ag equipment from Salford, New Leader, and Chandler. Visit H&H Chief Sales in Carthage today or anytime at hhchiefsales.com. H&H, quality equipment, knowledgeable service, and solutions that work as hard as you do.
Potrillo, hear that call. Best Mexican food of all. Hot and fresh, that's what you get. Every plate you won't forget. El Potrillo, vámonos. Best Mexican food around, you know. El Potrillo, come on through. Hot, fresh, delicious for you. El Potrillo Mexican Restaurant.
El Potrillo Mexican Restaurant, located in Flowood and Brandon.
For decades, you've known the name Martin's for good times, great food, and the best live music. Now that's happening at 2 locations, downtown Jackson and Livingston. Check the websites, martinslivingstonms.com and martinsdowntownjxn.com for the many special events and live music lineups. You can chill with friends on the big patio at the Livingston location and enjoy the Blue Plate lunches and nightly drink specials. Martin's, downtown and Livingston.
Hey guys, this is Casey Ellis with Ellis Autoplex, located on Highway 471 in Brandon. Ellis Autoplex, known as Little Truck City, is your old school mom and pop style dealership that's family owned and operated. We specialize in 4-wheel drive trucks, but don't worry, we have cars and SUVs too. Looking to sell your vehicle? Bring it by Ellis Autoplex, where we pay fair market value and we cut you a check on the spot. Need your vehicle service or repaired? We can handle that too. Shop us online or set your appointment at ellisautoplex.com. That's ellisautoplex.com.
Hi, Kim Wade here. Hot weather requires us to run the AC nonstop. Pure Air Consultants can inspect your unit today to ensure your AC is operating at peak performance. Pure Air Consultants is your go-to Rheem partner that can get the job done and have you resting in comfort in no time. Locally owned and operated, they have proudly served our community for over 22 years. Contact Pure Air Consultants today at mypureairconsultants.com. Rheem and Pure Air Consultants to the rescue.
You love your land, and you have plans for it. During Kubota Orange Days, you'll love the great deals on our versatile, reliable lineup, helping you turn dream projects into reality. Visit your Kubota dealer today for the best deals of the year. Now through June 30th, 0% financing available, or save up to $5,500 off select compact tractors. Sale ends soon. Stop by your local dealer or go to gokubota.com.
Visit Davini Equipment in Madison and Jackson, or at DaviniEquipment.com.
Welcome back to the Clay Edwards Show. Breaking rules. Here we go. When necessary.
Breaking rules when necessary. I'm Chuck Matthews, sitting in for Clay Edwards for just a few moments. He's driving through the cultural right city of Jackson, through the traffic. He'll be here in just a few. And I'll be hanging out with him for a little while, and we'll be talking about different things. Remember, it's 74 degrees outside. There's chances of rain all day, but this evening, we'll all be out at Beethoven's Boardwalk, rain or shine, and we'll have entertainment with Mike Mott. He'll be there. And then, of course, your YAB staff, Kim Wade will be there. And Kim is the leader or the radio strongman that helps lead this station in the path that we go. Management staff is very nice to allow us to do what we do. But I'm going to tell you what, Kim has blazed a trail through Jackson that is pretty amazing if you really think about it, for a guy that was in the same business I was in, same business Clay was in. We were all at one time. We all three had nightclubs together at different places and competed against each other. I find that ironic. And when you go back and you add Mike Madison to the match, that's 4. And and we've all been in the business of trying to entertain and move the city and be something part of the community. And constantly, when you try to do that, you constantly get squatted at. We all went through the process of getting a permit in Jackson. Y'all, that is a talent. Getting a permit in the city of Jackson and the different administrations, because, for instance, you'd have Harvey Johnson, and then his people would get fired in the office or move up, and then they brings in some more. And if you'd get a Harvey Johnson group, and then you'd get a Kane Ditto group, or you'd get somebody else's group, and everybody's group of inspectors did it differently. And then they'd come in and say, oh, he's wrong about the way they're going to go out and do it this way. And then you'd do it this way, and they go, oh, he's wrong about this. You go ahead and do it this way. It never ends on what goes on in the process. But when you look at, I look back at the history of what I've been through, boy, did I learn a lot. The politics, everybody goes, Chip, you haven't studied politics in college or anything like that, so you really don't. I lived it. I lived the politics. I lived the politics of the 60s. Clay wasn't around for that yet. He was a kid. He was born in, 70s? But I was there. I was in the second grade when segregation began, when they closed the schools down and opened up the private school association. And said, and I said, Mama, I'll go to school. I'm okay with where I'm at. And they go, oh no, you can't do that. You can't do that. You can't be going to school with little black kids. We've gotten past all that. And to show that we gotten past that, we're moving along, and then some legislator from Kosciuszko, Mississippi, decides that we're going to have an event to get the blacks all riled up. We'll just go down to the old Capitol, right there where it all happened, where Jeff Davis used to be on the floor, and we will stir up the pot so that nobody will want us to redistrict before this election. You're going, well, Mississippi? No, they don't want to do it. We got our congressman. We got Michael Guest right where we want him. We got everybody, Michael Zell, where we want him. We got all of them right where we want them. We don't want to mess anything up. Benny's up there. He'll get us some money. They'll get us 4 years. They'll get us 2 more years of money out of Benny if we can get Benny back in. If Ron Eller gets up there, oh my God, Ron Eller may vote to be conservative. So we got to do what we can to do what we can. Look, we got to get out and vote and get Ron Eller into office, period. That's just a reality, And he gave Benny a run for his money last time. He gave the millionaire a run for his money this time. The millionaire Republican that ran against him. You would think the millionaire would win, but Shoe Leather won. Going door to door, speaking the truth. He's the first person that'll tell you there should be a Bible in the Constitution. There should be a Bible in every classroom, and that's in the Mississippi Constitution. But our legislators do not take the courses to make sure that happens. And whose responsibility, after they have voted it in, to enforce the Constitution? Whose job is it in this state to do that? I mean, if we want to attack voting laws or whatever, you got to go ask Lynn Fitch. Is that okay? Is that okay? No, I don't want to do that. I've got a letter from her that says we're not going to go after voting crimes. I got a letter from it. I got a letter in black and white with her name on it. No, we're not going to go after voting crimes. When we found 114 people that in Madison County who were running polls that should not have been running polls. 114. And that's Madison County. That's not all over the state. Just think about the entire state and how much crookedness is going on in elections. But we don't care. All that stuff that went on in Jackson, where the Democrats are fighting with Democrats. Yeah, they know that they cheat. They cheat in both directions. Why can't we just have a simple election? Why can't X be an X and that's who you voted for and that's that? Because you manipulate the machines. We manipulate the machines. We can manipulate the ballots, where in one ballot the name's at the top and when that ballot's the name's at the bottom. That happened in Canton against me when I ran for mayor. The crookedness of what goes on in Mississippi is at a level that is unreal, and they don't want anything but the status quo. They don't want any conservatives coming in here and shaking it up and making it positive. Now they got some conservatives they clean off and make them look white, and might make them look shiny and like the soldier and the person that's going to be the fair guy in office, and they move up. and they get the governor, and they get them cleaned off real good to where they look good, and then they do stupid things. And you know, the redistricting in Mississippi needs to occur. The ballot initiative needs to be put into place. The laws of the state need to be followed. Is there anybody in this state that has the power to enforce the laws of the state? Why can't Mississippi enforce the law? Why can't we just simply do what's right? Do you know that murder is illegal in Jackson? Okay, somebody tell the judges that when a murder occurs, the murderer goes to jail and he's in jail. And there's a possibility that he could get the death sentence. And when it's time to carry out the death penalty, kill him. We need to do what we need to do in order to stop the crime, to stop all the bull that goes on in Mississippi. It is so stupid that you can't, something as simple as a traffic ticket. That'll slow the cars down. When we find somebody publicly corrupt handing out money and it's a white collar crime, put him in jail. Put him in jail. Do what you're supposed to do when things go bad. Go out and vote where you don't have to put up with these things when things go bad. Because when we don't vote, we wind up with this kind of chaos we have. Bunch of people that don't want to do their jobs, but you're going to let them stay in job because you go to church with them, or somebody goes to church, somebody knows him, he's a good guy. He's okay. Or she's okay. No, they're not. If they are not speaking out right now about redistricting, about the legislature, about the corruption, about what needs to go on to help Jackson, just because you're a congressman or a state legislator in North Mississippi, you know that the problem in Jackson needs to be fixed, or it's going to spread. It's cancer. Benny Thompson's district is a cancer. It has consumed half of the land mass of the state. Everything west of 55 is Benny Thompson's district. It is slowly leaked over because he's got part of Madison County. He's got Attala County. He's got Lee County. The culture is there. It's everywhere. Do what you got to do, people. Get off your butts. On the other side of this break, the Clay Edwards Show will continue with Clay Edwards, and I'm going to be sitting in with him for a little bit. So hang on. We'll be right back.